Uh,
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Cruise Amigos Live. The three amigos are back together for today. How about that? We got Amigo John. He's up there. Let's see. He's that way. Yes. Oops. That's my finger. He's
It's
that
always
way.
backwards.
He's up there in Crookston, Minnesota. And our buddy Pete Hall from London, England, the guy that started this silliness. Welcome back to the Amigos, Pete.
have we just kind of gone back in time? It feels like we've gone back in
seems like
time,
it.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels really weird. Hello, everybody. Hi, it's great to be back with my friends, the Cruise Amigos. Amazing. I mean, what can I say? I mean, so many amazing shows that we did through a really tough time. So, absolutely love to be back. Great.
The three of us pretty much survived the pandemic during all the shutdowns, a lot because of what the three of us did on this show. And so I know I was grateful to everybody. Pete was grateful. We don't know about John. John's not grateful to anything. But anyway,
John's job.
Pete, I have to ask you before we get on with everything. There's rumors circulating that you're in the running for prime minister over there. Is there any truth to that?
Well, they're getting desperate, you know. They really are. You know, I've seen adverts, you know, advertising 10 Downing Street saying a great place to stay for a couple of days. You know, literally, yeah. Vote for Pete. So
Yeah,
I think they're getting
Pete.
so
There
desperate that, you know, put it this way, yeah. I don't think I could do a worse job.
Yeah.
That's probably true. That's probably true.
To be fair, I think Larry the cat would do a better job, and Larry the cat's still there. So Larry the cat's going to outlast everybody at that place, I think. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then there's the rumor that Boris is coming back.
Well, he's in Barbados on holiday, but Boris won't go away. And yeah, it's, you know, if honestly, the best comedy program on television is the British news. You just couldn't make it up. Honestly, you really couldn't make it up. So we just haven't got a clue what's going to happen. It's not even like a soap opera. A soap opera is half believable. What's happening with us is just not believable. So you never know.
I do have one. Is there ever any decorum when all those folks get together? It seems like whoever's speaking there is yelling from everywhere the whole time they're trying to say anything.
Yeah, it's a tough fight across it because the whole nature of the House of the Parliament is that they're opposite each other. And so it's just literally set perfectly to argue. And that's what they did. And it kicked off last night in a vote. They had this vote about stuff and there was a lot of chaos about it. All it's madness. It really is. But it's entertaining in a crazy way.
So Pete,
So
you're probably an average guy on the street there, and you're kind of middle age. You're not old. You're not young. If you were king, and I don't mean Charles the King, I mean King of England in control, what would you do? What can happen? What could happen in a positive way?
I just realized last time we did the show, we had a queen, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we've now got a king. So I mean, when you think about it, you know, it's madness. You know, all the different prime ministers. We had a queen. Now we got a king. Yeah, and all the stuff that's going on in the family as well. What would I do? I'd probably abolish Parliament. I think Guy Fawkes got it right.
Okay. But how's that going to?
It's right behind me.
Yeah,
Guy Fawkes,
so you could turn around and just abolish it. Yeah. You could like tear it down. And
if you don't know, in America, Guy Fawkes, and he became a hero, which is again crazy. Yeah, Guy Fawkes tried to blow up Parliament on November the 5th in the 1800s and got caught. But we celebrate him, could you believe, every November the 5th, and we have bonfires and we kind of burn Guy Fawkes on the top of the bonfire. But as a kid, you make a little Guy Fawkes kind of big kind of doll thing, and you go penny for the guy, and you get money from everybody for penny for the guy. So we weren't doing Halloween. We used to have Guy Fawkes night. That's what we celebrated. So yeah, absolutely mad. It's no longer a penny for the guy, by the way. It's inflation. It's £1.
So it's a half penny. So it's a half penny now.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, or $10.
Yeah.
So, John, give us a report on how's the pot store doing.
Well, it's doing great. As a matter of fact, I can give you a little tour here. You see, we have that's the refrigerator that holds the beef sticks that go so well with our pot, as you call it. And there's the normally open. That's normally is outside there, that stand, but it's inside right now. And there's the showcase with all the products in it. And there's the big windows that face Main Street. 10,200 cars go by every day.
Do you count them, John?
And what?
Do you count them?
No, we pay just like your parliament, we pay the state of Minnesota to give us a count. I can give you a count on every main artery. Like, we know how many people pass our farm. We moved over to the highway because of the traffic over there. And so this is just a big counter that we do demonstrations on. And then, you can't see it, but behind the door is the vault where all the goods are kept when no one's here. So that's my little shop.
Now, you've got a counter that you demonstrate. You demonstrate how to roll pot, or
no. When I say demonstration, just in any business, just means where you're doing the pitch to the people. Every pitch is an introduction, a demonstration, and a close. And the demonstration is the middle part where you're just explaining the product. A lot of our customers are, first-time users. They've always thought of this as an illegal, Satan-driven, the end of all society because of this one thing, drug. And so, but they've heard so many things. They've had so many friends tell them, wow, I don't care what you're saying. I sleep really good. I do this. I do that. My restless leg isn't kicking in bed all night. My cats can't wake me up in the morning, anything like that. That's a Chillie story, by the way, that you'll probably hear today. Yeah. But so they're in here, but they're scared. I mean, some of them have asked, can you put a door over here so I don't have to come in off the street? Wow. And then plus the chief of police, the local chief of police, is not helping us. He is bound and determined to shut us down. He tried to stop us twice in city council meetings, and he's just publicly said that he doesn't want our store in town, and or any, not just me, I mean any store like this. And so a lot of people, the average person believes that if the police chief tells you something is bad, you should, that's why we pay these experts. And it's really sad because, now, especially, we've had over 500 unique customers, some of them back as many as 7 times. And, they're coming back because they are finding success using this product for restless leg syndrome, arthritic pain, back pain, cancer treatments, ADHD, anxiety, PTSD. It's a lot of different things, but everybody is finding that using a quarter of one of these, a half of one of these, maybe a whole one. And then we have the group, the 20% that are coming in, because instead of going to the store and buying a $30 bottle of wine and, knowing what that does for you for work tomorrow morning, you can take our product, kind of have the same good feelings, but yet you're ready for work in the morning because you also slept good.
So all this has happened since I've been on the show.
Yeah. Well, I have to tell the cat story. Everybody knows that last week we did a live demonstration, and by the end of the show, I was stoned out of my gourd. I readily admit it. So it was a couple days later. Let's see, it was like Sunday, I think, Sunday or Monday. No, it was Sunday because I didn't do a show that day. It was
Pete. It really helps your memory too. Did I mention that? It really helps your memory.
You did, but I forgot. Sorry.
So anyway, it was Sunday, and I had a particularly bad day. I have those on occasions where just I was out of sorts. I didn't feel good. I hurt all over, and I said, "Hell, I'm gonna get into John's
stash
stuff." So I had done the chocolate mints when we did the demonstration. That was what I had consumed. So I said, well, I'm going to try a gummy. So I tried a gummy. And, in an hour or so, I started feeling a whole lot better. The problem was the next morning, I overslept and the two cats were on the bed pounding me. I had paws on both sides. Wake up, you jackass. Get up and feed me. So the cats hate John.
Wow. Wow. Crazy.
All right, Pete. Bring us up to date on what you've been doing and what you just did and got back home from.
Well, in the last year, or you mean the last few weeks?
Like the last few weeks.
Well, yeah. I've just come back from the Virtuosa. We were on the MSC Virtuosa, and we kind of woke up the cruise industry because we had 300 solo cruisers booked with us. In fact, there's about 400 on the ship, which is some kind of record. And it was the first of what as a joint venture hosted cruise that we're doing. And talk about in at the deep end, to start off with, Chillie, 300 people on board, 300 to look after, and me. And it was a 15-day cruise. So it was going to be really, really hard, to keep everybody entertained on that. And it was like, okay. And we were trying to find information about doing meetings, all kinds of things beforehand. We're struggling to get that information. So when I got on the ship, I realized that they did an unhosted meeting. Now, for solos, unhosted is a red flag to a ball. And that was on the first, they had a party for us on the first day, which was in between the two sittings for food, which a lot of people turned up, but I missed the first 15 minutes of it, and they had a cake, and I missed the cake and the cutting of the cake. And then a whole lot of people had to leave for the second sitting. So the next day they had an official meeting at 5:30, which I managed to get changed to 5:30 because it was at 6:30 when most of us were having dinner, which is crazy. And I was there, and a whole lot of people turned up. I ended up hosting the meeting, saying hello to everybody. And that's why I had lost my voice on the ship. I lost my voice because the acoustics were so bad that no one can hear you. And my voice is getting lost all the time. So I'm like trying to talk to everybody again. We can't hear you over there. We can't hear you over there. There's a whole load of people there. And I needed to change it. It needed to be a hosted meeting by the company, especially when you got so many solos on there, just to look after. And so on the second day, I was walking back down the dome, the dome part. I bumped into the captain and the vice captain and the third in command. So I went, hi, can I have a selfie? As you do. So I got my phone out, got a selfie with the captain and the vice captain and third in command. And I was like, by the way, I explained, we got all these solos on board. You're having this meeting at the 5:30. No one's hosting it, so I'm doing it. And the bar doesn't even open till 5:30, so nobody can get a drink beforehand. And he was like, okay, I'll see what we can do. So I then we were doing a coffee meeting every morning. I organized lots of meetups for solos, so they weren't alone. So we had lots of opportunities to meet up and meet the other people as well. Yeah. So I sat down for my coffee, ordered my coffee, and we had the best drinks package as well. So it all free for us. I didn't get a chance to drink it. The cruise director found me and was like, Pete, can you come with me? He took me to another bar where the assistant was there and the third in control was there and was like, first of all, he said, I'm really sorry, Pete, that unfortunately we didn't give you enough attention because there's a damn film unit on there making a TV show for Channel 5 about cruising called Mystery at Cruising with Claire Sweeney. Could you believe? They're on there filming. They're still there filming. They try to drag me in it as well, but I managed to escape. And I explained it all, and they organized a solo meeting, and it made a huge difference for the solos. A lot of people were thinking this is going to be chaos. 400 solos out of 3,400 were on board, running riots, causing all kinds of stuff. It wasn't like that at all. Everybody was having their own holiday, and they could dip in and dip out. But it was amazing. I had a crazy table for dinner. I had literally the people. The company Passion for Cruises. What they do is they put everyone together on tables together who are solos. It's a lucky dip, and I just had the most amazing people, and we just had the best laugh. Apart from one stupid thing, we had the premium drink package. I figured out that we didn't need to drink the house wine. We could use the drinks package to get the good wine. I figured that out on day 12. I was drinking the house wine for 12 days, not realizing that we could have got a really good wine. And one of the guys on there used to be vice president of the Toastmasters Association.
Oh, wow.
So he was like, and this guy's a guy called Mike. He's a great guy to go with because he makes sure that you get the best cocktails. They are made properly. So I was drinking Bloody Marys that were knocking me out. They were spicy, they were hot, they were killers. Proper pina coladas, coffee martinis, things like that. It was just amazing. Yeah. So that was. I don't know how I survived it. I couldn't speak at the end. And I think a lot of people are really happy about that.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mike Cowser just says you did well on Virtuosa, Pete. He's looking forward to seeing you in Dubai on the MSC.
Do you know what, Mike? This is going to be amazing. I cannot wait. It is a official hosted cruise now, by the way, because we've got about 90 of us on it. So, which is amazing because we're flying with Emirates. We're flying with Emirates Airways. We're talking posh here, and it's all included in the price. I've never been to that part of the world. And the ship, the World Europa, it's just amazing. And Mike, just to let you know that I'm going to be organising a meeting in the secret speakeasy bar that they got a secret bar you got to find yourself. So I'm going to find that bar and I'm going to host the meetings there. So everyone's got to find me. Mike, it's going to be amazing, mate. I can't wait to see you on board. And we've got some incredible people on board as well. What a cruise that's going to be.
Cindy's with us, Sonny's with us. Hi, y'all. Nikki's with us. Good to see you guys.
And I think we need to take a moment here and talk about, on so many chat rooms that I'm in and looking around and everything, I keep seeing, MSC, somebody told me their food is terrible. Somebody told me the rooms are dirty. Somebody told me that they go to the second class ports. Somebody told me this, and I'm just sick of it because my MSC experiences have been great. Pete's, what's your name? The Nope guy. Julio's MSC. So, Pete, we need a testimony from you, unbiased. You're free to say, good, bad, or indifferent. But
I'll be honest about it. I mean, the ship. First of all, I've been on 2 ships, the Virtuosa, and I'll feel the other one in a minute, an old one as well, and beautiful ships. Magnifica, the MSC Magnifica. The MSC Magnifica is a smaller ship, and it's stunning. It's beautiful. It really is. And the Virtuosa is a big ship. And I think they got a few things wrong on the Virtuosa. The bars aren't big enough. They got the Galleria area on the Virtuosa here with the dome, where they have all the parties. Now, indoor-wise, that is one of the best venues I've ever seen for a party. So the Galleria just parties. They do the white party nights. They do all kinds of different parties. They do the silent disco. Everyone's wearing their headphones and dancing differently and doing crazy things like that. It is amazing, the dome is. The bar areas are not big enough. So what happens is you can't reserve seats and have people together, and you struggle to get seats. That's one of my biggest issues with the Virtuosa. Food-wise, I was in the MDR, the main dining room, and they had the buffet there as well. And they also has some restaurants, specialty restaurants, because I went to the Mexican, by the way, which is amazing. Now, the MDR restaurants, I stayed there for the first 3 or 4 days, mostly because the people we had on our table were such fun. We were having such an amazing time that I didn't mind the food being okay, right? Because of the company I was having. And my first meal was a steak, and I ended up going to the buffet. I have to say that after 4 or 5 days, I felt the food really picked up big time. And the choice isn't incredible. It's not top of the range food, to be honest with you, but I enjoyed it. I really did. And after 4 or 5 days, I thought the food was more than good enough. Some people didn't like the MDR. They went to the buffet and they said the buffet was good. They enjoyed going to the buffet. You've also got other restaurants on there that you can go. The Mexican was something like $20 in America, $20.
That's cheap.
Yeah.
And you could eat as much as you wanted.
Yeah.
Take out everything. You literally go through the menu and then go back again. But there's 4 of us there. So we ended up putting it all in the middle. And it was incredible. So and as far as dirty is concerned, I don't think I've been on any cleaner ships.
Wow.
The Magnifica is stunning. The decor is amazing. Italian style. And the Virtuosa, big, open plan type ship. No, dirty, not anywhere. I didn't see that anywhere. So I believe that MSC, you've got great value for money. You can't expect to eat like Royal Caribbean standards if you're paying that kind of money. But you know what? The food's more than good enough, in my view.
Yeah. Well, I've done 3 cruises with them, and I was perfectly satisfied with all 3. I'm getting ready to do the 4th on the Seascape for the inaugural that's coming up in about a month from now. And I'm excited about it. Now I've got Meraviglia back. It's back in Port Canaveral as of this week.
Do you know what I say, guys? My advice is to people who are complaining about the food, and you do get complaints. You know, cruisers complain, sadly. It does happen. My advice is this. If you are a foodie, right, and a food's your thing, and you've got the most amazing deal with MSC, and the deals are the best I've seen, especially for solos, really affordable for solos, spend a little bit more and get the speciality package as food. Yeah. Do the speciality restaurants, because you know they're top class. And so if you really want to eat that top class food that you used to get back in the days on the ships, but now is in specialities, that's what you do, because you're still saving fortunes, because you can pay in an amazing price. Yeah. And you might not use them all anyway. Well, you probably will, but that's my view. Get the speciality deal if you're a foodie. That's what I would do. But I'm really happy with MSC, and the World Europa looks groundbreaking. Yeah. They've got this a tunnel thing where you can just drop from, I think, deck 18. The Prima had that. I don't know if you saw me. I did that.
Yeah.
And you can literally get a shortcut from the deck 18 to deck 6 or something like that. They've got that on the World Europa. I'm definitely going to do that. Yeah. It's like a water slide without the water. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's like the Great Abyss on Symphony of the Seas was one of those, 20-story drops. I ain't no way, and no.
Well, and that's only because of what Newton's third law is, that an object in motion tends to stay in motion. Is that so? If you're dropping that far, you're just going to go right on through.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's my fat butt. If I drop that far, I'm not going to put a hole in the hole.
Well, look at me. I raced a guy because they have 2 of them. One's called the drop and one's called the rush. And the rush is where there's 2 of them together next to each other. And you basically sit on a mat, yeah? It's like a water slide, but you're on a mat. And you both go at the same time, and off you go. And I raced a member of the crew, and I beat him easily. I think it's to do with my weight. I was out, and he was still coming down. And it comes out by a restaurant. So as I got up, all these people started applauding me. It's like, hello.
I've done a water slide one time, in my entire life.
With or without your swimsuit?
One time, and that was in Jamaica, and I came up with no swimsuit, and I walked across the bar stark naked and sat down on my bar stool and said, bartender, can I have another bourbon and Diet Coke, please?
Wow.
I've
But
not
what I
been
would
on
say,
a water
guys-
slide since, and nor am I going to.
Do you know much about the Prima over in America, the Norwegian Prima, the new style ship?
Well,
Yeah.
it just hit its opening run, didn't it? When was the opening run?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
What-
just got here a week or so ago. I had
I
some
was
people on the
lucky.
Prima.
I was invited on the inaugural, right? And the inaugural going from Iceland, but I was able to get off in the UK. It was going to Amsterdam. The ship is just, it's a new starship. It's got the big ship feel about it with only 3,200, and it's got new things to it. It's got something called, you know how Virgin Voyages has got the food hall?
Yeah.
Well, the new Primas, and they're all called the new Prima style ships, yeah? They were called the Leonardos, but that was a code apparently. I kept calling them that. They've got something called the Indulge food hall, which is exactly like the Virgin Voyages food hall, where you've got choices of all these little places like you do in America, like you're going to go to a shopping center, the mall. You've got exactly the same thing on this ship, but they have kept the buffet.
Oh, so there's a buffet, and then there's this like a tapas, an international tapas kind of a thing where you can go and
Yes,
get
there
a
is.
little.
It's called the Indulge food
Yeah,
hall with
yeah, yeah.
different
And you-
choices. Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, you got the MDR restaurants. Plus, you got the specialty restaurants. There is so much choice, and it's got a concourse on deck 8. That's where you land if you go down. If you take the slide down, you land on deck 8. And at deck 8, you can walk all the way around the ship. And it's got so many places to chill. It's got like infinity pools where you just go and chill on the infinity pool overlooking the side of the ship. You know, all the way. I've got a video just walking around deck 8. It's absolutely stunning. The only thing I didn't get to do was when I got on the ship, I hadn't been to sleep. So I flew over in the morning, early flight, and they picked us up from the airport. They had a person on the coach telling us about Iceland and things like that, which I thought was incredible. And then they put us on the ship, and I'm really knackered. And I wanted to make a video of my studio room, so I did. Very quickly did that, yeah. And then I wanted to do the studio lounge because it's got a studio lounge on there. And I couldn't get in a door. I tried to get in this door and I couldn't get in. So I went to see this guy, the guy that was looking after me on the ship. And he goes, "Oh, if you go around the back there, we can get you in." This guy, yeah, my cabin steward. So we went round to the back. I was going to a video walking in to go, "This is the brand new studio lounge on the Norwegian Prima," yeah, because obviously, and so I didn't. I just opened the door and I walked in, and my jaw dropped. The studio lounge was in chaos. Boxes here, boxes there, boxes there, people walking around there everywhere, yeah? Right? And I'm thinking, and I'm not awake because I'm not having any sleep. And I'm looking, and then this American lady stops in the middle, right? And I'm looking at her, and she looks at me, and I went, and we had this moments where we looked at each other, and I went, "What's happening?" I was meant to video everything, and she's like, "Oh." I went, "Yeah, all the solos out there are waiting to see the new studio lounge on the Prima, so I wanted to video it, but what's going on?" And she was like, "Oh, I'm really sorry." Oh, okay. And I went, "Oh, it's got the best coffee machine on the ship." And I saw a coffee machine on the other side, and she just kept. We had this literally, it's like 5 minutes standoff, like a Western, where she was looking at me, this crazy guy, I'm looking at her, and she wasn't going to budge. Do you know what? I'm almost 99% sure it was Katy Perry, because she was the godmother on the ship, and I think she was using it as their base. I think that's what was happening. So I walked in there, and because if it had been a member of staff, they would have explained everything, and she wasn't. She was just looking at me, and I'm looking at her, and she's looking at me, and I'm looking at her, and we're like, okay. She goes, oh, I'm really sorry. I went, well, how long are you going to be here? She goes, oh, for the whole cruise. I'm like, well, what do I do for the solos then? I don't know. Well, what do I do? I meant to film it. Oh, I'm really sorry. It's all going on, and she had this aura about her, but she was straight-faced the whole time, just looking at me. And I thought, she goes, well, if you want to walk around, you can, but, you know, it's kind of chaos. And I'm like, okay. And then I literally went by and walked out. And, of course, I thought Katy Perry had blonde hair. But when when we went to her doing the naming ceremony, there she comes up on the big screen. And I'm like, oh, I think that's the lady that I had this standoff with.
And she's thinking it was like when the guy came in the Queen's bedroom. Remember that about 20 years ago? When the guy shows up and it's like, oh, yes, I'll entertain him until somebody comes to help me, please. He looks a little crazy.
Well, she stood there. She weren't going to move. I weren't going to move. And we were like, what do we do? You know, what do we do? Who's going to back down? But she was apologetic, but just waiting for me to talk. And I'm giving a little talk. Then I'm waiting for her to talk. And it was just, typical me, Katy Perry, it would be, wouldn't it? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I used to be in love with Lizzie Lou until she says, I love the abyss on Wonder of the Sea. Lizzie, you're done. You're done.
You got to do it, Lizzie. You have to do it. Lizzie is going to be hosting an amazing cruise as well, by the way. And we're talking about another big one next year. So looking forward to that, Lizzie.
Lauren's with us. She says hello to everybody. Hi, Lauren. Welcome aboard to the cruise, Amigos.
Hello. Hiya. Hi, Lauren.
So this is a fun time for us, Pete. Now, so what's next? You're doing Dubai. I know that.
Yeah.
Is that your next cruise?
Mike's with us in Dubai. There's about 90 of us on that one. And we're flying Emirates from different parts of the country. So we've got different flights. I've never flown Emirates, so I'm looking forward to that. You're talking top rank. How we got those deals, I will never know. And we literally fly late at night. And so we land in the morning. So I'm going to be another zombie, probably. So hopefully Katy Perry's not on the ship. Yeah. And so they take us to the ship and we board us. And now we're going to be on this World Europa. And got to find the secret speakeasy bar. A secret speakeasy bar. They're not going to tell us where it is. We've got to push these different walls to try to find it. That's going to be my first task. From Birmingham, Mike. Yeah, I'm going from Heathrow, Mike. I know quite a few people going from Birmingham as well. Sorry.
John, what do you have coming up? Anything?
You know, I got nothing right now. I mean, I am just here running the store. I'm going to be, I dropped out of my my balcony on. Oh, wait a minute. Something else loaded up. Hang on.
I hear a little.
There we go. I was looking for the secret room on Europa, and that
okay.
That came. Okay. No, I've canceled everything because I'm just right here at the store. So I dropped out of my my Epic cruise. Somebody's going to be in my room on the Epic, and I'm not. You know, I wanted to be in Germany for about a month here in September because my number 6 foreign exchange student runs a great big beer garden in his little town in southwestern Germany, and but he has invited me. They winter on the coast of Spain, kind of looking out at Mallorca. For 4 months, and he's invited me over there. So maybe after the first of the year, and if I can get somebody in here and doing their thing, I might try and sneak over to the south of Spain for a little while. That's what's on my potential.
And I'm getting ready to take off in the next 6 weeks. I'm on 5 different cruise lines.
Wow.
Don't take any gummies with you, by the way.
No, I know.
No. But I'm telling people, everybody, as America is loosening up and making THC products legal, freely available, and everything. They are still an absolute bottom line, go to jail no on cruise ships.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Well, you don't bring anything on a ship, do you? You know, it's so important. You know, even drinks and stuff like that. You know, you just don't do it.
I've always found it weird, Pete. If I'm paying for the drink package, why should they care if I bring a bottle of booze on?
Do you know, that's a really good point, actually. I never thought about that. If you actually bought the drinks package, it shouldn't really. In fact, you're doing them a favor.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I you know, like Doofus here. I mean, my good partner likes Earl Craig. No, what is it? Jenny Jones. Elijah Craig bourbon, and you can't get it on most cruise ships. And he buys, so he's on a cruise ship with a drink package. Why can't he bring a bottle of Elijah Craig on board? Because every shot he takes out of there, we know he has a very limited capacity. You know, one gummy puts him out for a week. So you know, that should be they should invite it. They should encourage it.
Yeah, they're not going to do that though.
No, they're not. Absolutely.
Now, one of the things I'm interested in this my next adventure is Margaritaville at Sea Paradise. I want to know if Jimmy Buffett's going to be on the boat.
No.
You don't think so?
No. Is it the first? It's not the first run of it.
Yeah, no.
No.
Well, I mean, he owesn't. I mean, he should.
Yeah, well,
he should be steering the. He should be the captain.
Elvis ain't at Graceland either. I got some bad news for you, dude. I mean, you know,
When's the last time you were on a boat, John?
I'm sorry.
When's the last time you were on a ship?
Well, a year ago, I did the crossing on the Epic last fall.
Yeah. So this my next adventure. I'm the first one. I'm on Royal Caribbean, then Margaritaville at Sea Paradise, then Carnival. Then I come home for a week and turn around and go back. And I'm on a Holland America and then MSC for the Seascape, the inaugural cruise of the Seascape.
What I want to know, Chillie, is are you going to behave with your scooter, or are you going to crash your scooter? Because every time I see you on a ship, it seems that you have crashed your scooter.
I know, that's only twice, Pete. Twice.
Yeah.
Well, that's every time. So,
but can I ask something?
Yeah.
Because, you know, if you've done it twice, you're probably going to do it again, yeah? Can you please do us one favor? When you are upside down, you know, and the scooter's above you, whatever it is, can you pass your phone to someone so they can take a photograph so we can see you, legs in the air, scooter there, and whatever it is, we can see you, yeah? We want to see you in that scooter.
The first time I did it, Pete, Elizabeth on location was right next to me and had her phone in her hand and never took a picture of it because she panicked.
That would be the first thing I would do. The first thing you do is get the picture, and then you go, "Are you okay?"
Well, now the weird one was the second one, Pete. At least the first one there was a reason that I flipped the damn thing.
You flipped it.
The second one, I mean, I was at St. Thomas, and I was on the only level spot in the whole island because, you know, St. Thomas is hills up and down everywhere. And I'm sitting in an absolutely perfectly level spot and flip the scooter.
Sure.
That's hard to do.
Yeah, but you've got to stop doing these wheelies, Chillie, haven't you?
Yeah, well.
You know, you keep trying to do these wheelies, you're getting these wheelies. You see, you think you're riding a Harley Davidson, don't you? You know,
well, I like to have drag races with 90-year-old women. That's my forte in life.
Yeah,
I find a 90-year-old on a scooter on a boat, and we drag race.
Right. And do you win, Chillie? Do you sort of, you know, push her to one side?
He lets them win in hopes that they'll, you know, befriend him and be nice to him. So he always lets them
buy me a drink.
Yeah.
We have to win. We have to win. You know, I would edge them slightly to the side or towards the pool area.
Yeah. And I think probably I'm excited. I'm excited now for this next 6 weeks.
Brilliant.
As I was back in the end of January when I got to go finally for the first time in over 2 years on a cruise.
And isn't that a weird feeling? I don't know how you felt, John, as well with that one, Chillie, but when you first set foot on the ship, and of course we had to pass, we had to be negative before we could do it, so we weren't even sure we were going to get on. But when you actually got on that ship for the first time after lockdown, wasn't that an amazing feeling?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And then, of course, I did, once I started, I did like, 7 and 4 weeks or 5 weeks or something. It was, crazy.
Yeah.
I've done.
You got to do it. Yeah.
I'm going to end up by the end of the year, I will have been on 19 cruises.
Wow.
Is that this year?
So neat.
For 2022. Yeah.
Wow.
131 days at sea total.
So by the end of the year, 19, as Paul Hardcastle would say, yeah?
Yep. 19 cruises.
Wow.
So this has been a really good year for me.
Do you think you can make it 20? You need an extra one to make it a nice round figure, don't you?
No, that's I'm full right now. Although I said that I was only going to book an extreme bargain, and the Holland American, I got an extreme bargain. Is why I booked it, because that was the last one I booked, which was just a couple of weeks ago.
How is it in America? How is cruising? How is it all going in America with what's happening? With obviously the cost of living situation they're talking about, we get to see all the time. How's it affecting bookings for America and cruising? Are Americans just still cruising in numbers, or are you getting amazing deals?
To me, everything I've been on, the numbers have been way up there. I mean, I was on Symphony of the Sea full.
Now,
6,000 people.
I'm on that in May. I'm on that. This is typical of me, isn't it? I'm on it May the 7th. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm flying on May the 7th at 6:30 in the morning. But do you know what the problem is?
You'll be asleep again.
No, King Charles is having his coronation on May the 6th.
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Both, and Queenie too.
And Queenie as well. They're both on May the 6th. So I don't know. That's going to be huge holidays. I don't know what's going to happen. I've got to get to his airport by 6:30, 7:30 in the morning to get the flight over to Barcelona on that one.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I have messaged Charles to say, is it possible he could change the date? Because I bet it kind of clashes a little bit with the cruise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping that he might think about it, see what he can do. But if he doesn't change the date, it's going to be chaos. The car parks are going to be full everywhere. The hotels are going to be full everywhere. Mad, So yeah, can you believe that?
Lizzie wants to know if I'm booking Icon of the Seas. Not yet. I probably will wait. Let's get into the next year and let me see. See how my money goes.
Is the Icon of the Sea going to be the biggest ship out there?
It's going to be the biggest ship. Yeah.
Yeah, bigger than the World Europa.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. They're going to be very close, but Icon, when it comes out, will be the biggest.
You see, I'm thinking,
and it's going to have, oh my goodness, the water slides and water park on the.
Yeah. But from a solo cruiser point of view, what's great in many ways that these big ships take some filling, right? And if they're not filling the ship, it means they've got all these cabins available. Us solos, we don't drink double everybody else's. I know, well, apart from Chillie, of course. They don't eat double everybody else's food, apart from Chillie, of course. Yeah. But, and so why should we have to pay double the price? So we're getting opportunities now on these big ships. That's what happened. That's what happened on the Virtuosa. They were like, we not only were there 300 of us on there, we had balconies. Balconies. We don't get balconies as a solo. We sit and watch walls. That's what we see. Nice wall. So there are so many opportunities now with these big ships coming out for solos to have the opportunity to actually get a decent deal.
Because it's better to have a half a person in the cabin, meaning a solo, than it
Yeah.
is to have an empty cabin, because you're paying a worker. The worker's on the ship either way.
Yeah.
The laundry can run either way, and they buy the food stock. So
I
better
do
to have
know,
somebody in the room.
and the 300 solos on board, well, the 400 solos on there, I do know they did their very best to drink double. They made a really good attempt to drink double.
Well, yeah, I'm going to play next year. I've got a few things booked, and I'm going to see how I can do with my bargain hunting. And I mean, one of the things I look at, and one of the reasons that I booked the Holland America, and the reason I had not booked Holland America was they were all 100% single supplement. Well, I got a deal that was not 100%.
Yeah.
And then I got a deal on top of that. So that's why I jumped all over it. So, yeah, I'm going to watch for that. But, Icon of the Seas, yeah, I want to do it at some point in time, but it's new and it's all the bells and whistles, and it's going to be expensive for the first.
Symphony of the Seas, I haven't been on her. And anything you would advise on Symphony of the Seas?
It is wonderful ship. I was actually in a suite on Symphony, and as a result,
it was a card playing deal.
I got to eat in Coastal Kitchen every night instead of the main dining room, which not only was the food just out of this world, I didn't have the crowd that you have in the main dining room. So
I'm in a virtual balcony, so I can see myself hitting my head trying to walk onto the balcony and hitting the wall.
By a virtual balcony. But by a virtual balcony, you mean they took a giant TV screen, they turned it the other way, so it looks like a window. It looks like a door.
Yep.
It's going to confuse the hell out of me, because I'm going to want to go out and walk into it. I'm bound to bump our head into it. I guarantee it.
Yeah,
I keep forgetting I don't have a balcony.
I've had that once. It was actually pretty neat, because what you actually see is a live camera from
it's live, real,
the front of the ship. So
sometimes the side.
Mine was from the front.
Well, you had to turn the screen.
No, it wasn't turning the screen.
Or turn the ship. That's another one you can do.
Yeah, but it's so hard. It's so hard to go across the ocean with those two little propellers on the side of the ship that move it to the dock. It's hard to.
Well, that's what Chillie did back in the days, wasn't it, when he first started cruising?
Oh, I've been known to. What can I say? Now, the amazing thing, Pete, I don't drink like I used to.
Not at all.
Well, you like your £1,000 bar bill, Chillie, yeah. The legend of Chillie's bar. You talked about.
I have in the past, yes.
Wow.
And now, Royal Caribbean. My next cruise is on Royal Caribbean, and I'm diamond status now. So I get 4 drinks a day included.
Wow.
That's more than enough for me, Yeah. So I probably won't buy a drink the whole cruise.
I had to be very careful. Yeah. I had to be very careful drinking on the last one, because obviously I couldn't get drunk at night, with because you never knew. There were all kinds of things I had to sort out.
What was the craziest thing that people wanted you to solve for them or fix?
Well, you had all kinds of. I mean, some of the stuff I can't even talk about, right? Because it's stuff that you just wouldn't believe, to be honest.
Even more than the bowling ball.
Yeah. Even more
goodness.
than the bowling ball incident, which is an infamous incident, isn't it?
Infamous incident.
Yeah. That's on Norwegian Cruise Line. But I mean, there were things like on deck 14, a lot of our sailors had balconies there on deck 14. And of course, deck 15 is a pool area. And so what was happening was they were deciding to move all the beds up there at 3 o'clock in the morning, 2, 3, 4 in the morning. And so everybody on deck 14 were going, I can't sleep. It's crazy. It's like, what is going on up there? So I did go to reception to try to fix it, and they were like, well, we work 24 hours a day here, sir. I'm like, yeah, but there are kind of people trying to sleep. But it did kind of get fixed, you know. So we had things like that. Most of it was small things, like, you know, fixing the dining tables. Some people were eating alone, and a few things like that. And there was one or two bits of COVID on there. So one or two of our members did catch it. You know, you couldn't avoid it, and so I was speaking to them every day to make sure they're okay. You know, and stuff. So there wasn't anything. Kind of, I mean, you had Carl the dummy. You've seen the photographs of me and Carl the dummy. Well, I'll post them. He was a star, by the way. I got loads of photographs with the legend, which is Carl, and there was the film crew. They are filming a show on there called Mystery at Seas, which is a working title for Channel 5, and they were looking for extras all the time. Right. And of course, I've been in the industry for 50 years, but quite a lot of our solos were asked that the production assistant, Martha, who was a lovely young lady, came to our meetings and said, does anybody want to be an extra in this? You know, and we'd be really appreciated it with Claire Sweeney. And many of them did. They wanted to be in the show. I don't know what the show's about, but they were on the ship the whole 2 weeks that we were on it. They were on it the next week, and they were on it the week after as well. So that's on Channel 5 in around about 5 months' time. They did ask me to be in it as well, but I was kind of doing so many things. I thought I just need to make sure everything's organized. And then we had Morocco. We went to Casablanca. And that was an experience because when we went to Casablanca, we didn't know what port we were going into. We couldn't get that information. And I was doing a meeting at 9:45 in reception for any solos that wanted to get off the ship together, just to explore together or share taxis or share transport. Some went to Le Havre and they shared transport. They took a train, and 4 of them got lost coming back and had to go through the back security way. 1 got in and 3 were locked outside, and the ship was going in half an hour. And some security guy found this 1 person locked inside and the other 3 locked outside, and managed to let them in. And they just made the ship, could you believe? So that almost happened. No, another guy got left in Barcelona. And this guy's poor old boy, you know, and I met him. I had breakfast with him, with his buddy, and this taxi, they were in different parts of Barcelona, and he asked his taxi driver to pick his friend up and then go to the ship. The taxi driver didn't speak English. He didn't speak Spanish. So he went straight past his friend, straight to the ship. His friend, who was in his late 60s or 70s, was waiting for his mate to pick him up. He didn't pick him up. He literally just got on the ship, and the ship went and left the other guy in Barcelona. You know, it's like, you know, that. And so I'm like, we had all these kind of crazy things going on. But it was, but when Morocco was an issue, because have you ever been to Casablanca before?
I have.
Well, lots of people wanted to go to the famous bars and things like that, you know, as you do. And we were trying to find out what the situation was getting off the ship. And so I went to the excursion desk and I said, can you tell us what port we're in, please? So we get an idea. And they were like, we don't know. I'm like, well, if you don't know, I hope someone does, you know what I mean? And it turned out that if you were booked on an excursion, then the buses came to where the ship was. But if you weren't, you had a 3/4 of a mile, if not further, road that you had to walk down, basically, yeah, to get to the end of the port, and taxis weren't allowed in. And so, and some guy had done that in the morning. He had done the walk. It was like ducking and diving from all these different vehicles going up and down this dodgy road, ducking and diving. When you got to the end of the port, it was like looking around, and it was really beggars everywhere. It's not a great scene. And he was like, there's nothing here, nothing, no. And so he ended up going back onto the ship. Some poor guy I met was on a scooter, Chillie. He got halfway down this dodgy road, and it was bumpy, and he couldn't get any further, and he came back to the ship. And not only that, as all the mist came in, so that it's completely foggy. You couldn't even see off the ship. Yeah. And I saw this person. I said, "Where are you going on?" She goes, "I'm going on a scenic tour." Scenic tour? You can't even see 2 feet in front of you. So it was and oh man, that was a surreal experience. I didn't actually get off in the end. I decided the safest thing to do was to let everybody get off and go and sit in a jacuzzi and chill and drink cocktails and enjoy the ship.
So of all the gin joints in all the world, you didn't get into that one?
No, didn't get into it. But if I had got into it, I wouldn't have seen it because the fog was there. This fog just came in.
Just out of curiosity, Pete, as a general rule on the 15 days with all the ports of calls you had, did you stay on the ship most days?
No, I got off. I got off in Cadiz. Okay. I got off in Cadiz, and I did the bus, the open top bus around Cadiz, which was lovely. That's something I really wanted to do. So I did the open top bus just to see Cadiz. I've never been there before, you know. And one of my gutted things about that was I've got friends that I've known for years that lived 30 miles from there, but they couldn't get to the port to see me, which is a real shame. So I did that, and Lisbon as well. What's lovely about Lisbon, I've never cruised to Lisbon before, was I've made a video as well where you walk off the ship, and you can literally, what I do is my videos, I'm going to walk off the ship. I haven't got a clue where I'm going to go. I haven't got a clue what I'm going to see. But you can do it. So I walked off the ship in Lisbon and I went, do I turn left? Do I turn right? I turned left and I just basically followed my nose to see where I was going to find. Lisbon is a beautiful city. It's quite built into the hills, but it's quite, this part of it is flat. It's got this tiniest beach you've ever seen, but it's an amazing town. So I walked around Lisbon making a video, and there's squares everywhere. These incredible squares that you walk into, statues of these different or generals of this and generals of that, you know, and so a lot of history there. And I come across the hotel lift, the lift hotel. Okay. So I don't know if you've seen that, where you can take this lift up and get a really good view of Lisbon, and next to it's called the hotel lift. I didn't even know it existed. I just turned the corner and there it was, this tiny lift going up.
Now, does it go straight up, or is it like a funicular where it's?
It kind of does that. It's really weird.
Oh,
you know?
Wow!
But there's a big queue to get in, and you had to pay cash, and I didn't have any cash on me. No, so and I couldn't use the card. But I'm walking around doing all that. The beautiful, beautiful, beautiful town, Lisbon.
We're down to a minute, you guys. We got to say goodbye. It's
we sure do. We've managed to kill another hour. Just amazing, Pete. Can't thank you enough for being with us and sharing all your stories. It's always good to see you, my friend. And John, you got to get that pot store open.
I got to run and open the door. I see somebody's already been kind of looking around the corner, so they'll be there when I get there.
Well, that's going to wrap us up for today, everybody. We'll see you next Thursday for the Cruise Amigos. Thanks, Pete. See you next time.
Bye, everybody. Nice seeing everybody.